How stands the glass around? For shame ye take no care, me boys. How stands the glass around?
The War of 1812 occurred while the United States was still a developing nation. 20 years had passed since the end of the American Revolution, and the nation had not yet achieved economic independence. Due to the suspended trade between the warring countries of Britain and France, America had the neutral advantage of being able to sell supplies to both sides. The dual-sided trade issue caused problems between Britain and the United States. The United States declared war on June 18, 1812.
Melancholy boys, why
The British were impressing American sailors into their own navy, creating trade restrictions between the U.S. and France, and supporting the Indian Rebellion against the U.S. The cause of the war is just because the war was declared in defense against British aggression.
cold, hot, wet or dry, we're always
On June 18, 1812, President Madison signed a declaration of war between the United States and Britain. The war was lawfully declared by a lawful authority.
I mean not to upbraid you boys.
The war was declared to defend the young nation of the United States, to resolve issues about independence, and to retrieve fair trade. The intentions behind the war were good. They were moral and rational.
Free from pain.
The United States attempted to resolve the trade restriction and maritime rights violations by implementing the Embargo Act and the Non-Intercourse Act. The Embargo Act laid an embargo on all ships and vessels under U.S. jurisdiction. It also prevented all ships and vessels from obtaining clearance to undertake in voyages to foreign ports or places. Later, the Embargo Act was replaced by the Non-Intercourse Act. This act lifted all embargoes on American shipping except for those bound for British or French ports. The United States tried everything. The war was a last resort. The United States was defending territory, which lends a better chance of victory than an offensive attack. The country also had an advantage in natural resources. The United States had a reasonable chance of success. The goal was to resolve independence and trade restriction issues. The consequences of the war were 20,000 deaths in a small 2 years war. Also, the war left tension between the U.S. and the Native Americans. Although the cause is just, the war was lawfully declared, there were good intentions behind the war was the last resort, there was a reasonable chance of success, and the goal was proportional to the offense. The War of 1812 was just.